Welcome back, everybody, to another podcast, number 322. My name is Steve. Along with me for this podcast, I have
the Boston Bastard, Chris.
That's right, the Boston Bastard is back. For this podcast, we're going to be talking about a few things movie and TV related, and also, obviously, video games. First and foremost, Nintendo. Then we're going to talk about Fortnite, Dead Island 2, Donkey Kong, Fallout 76, Scrubs, YouTube, just to name a few. Before we get any further into the podcast, go ahead and give us a follow on Spotify. You can find us on there. You can find me on Twitch or Kick at EGS Steve. You can find Chris on Twitch at what?
I believe it is CT Kelly and the number 4. And Kelly is spelled Kelly.
And when it comes to the website, we will have an update with that. Without further ado, let's get into the podcast. Nintendo Switch 2. The sale snapshot. What has been going on with this is nothing but good things with Nintendo. They, I'm sure, are very, very happy. Attached with a brand new Switch 2. Mario Kart World, they saw that combination 80% of the time. So far, 1.72 million have been sold in Japan during the first month, and within the first week in the United States, 1.1 million units were sold. They are projecting by March of 2026, 15 million units.
I'll believe those numbers when I see them fully, like, the 15 million one.
Yeah, 15 million in under a year. They have to start pumping the consoles out if they were able to meet that demand. I'm sure they could within that under year time span. I don't know how it's going to look. People don't want to admit that the tariffs have nothing to do with what's going on with video games. I believe that there are going to be probably some more issues that come about with that. And I believe that's also going to be majorly affecting what Nintendo's going to be able to produce. I don't know if we're going to have to mark up those consoles a little bit more. If it's going to... I don't know. I think that the consumer is going to have to pay for it at some point. I can't imagine every single company going out and taking a couple zeros off of people's salaries just to go ahead and not charge the consumer as much. It would be nice, but it's definitely not going to be happening.
So real quick, to kind of go with your whole Nintendo Switch, they'd have to pump them out in order to get the 15 million units sold by March of next year. I'm looking on Best Buy's website, and from what I'm seeing is it says that it's in-store only to buy the Nintendo Switch 2 with the Mario Kart bundle. You can only buy it in-store only, so it's not giving me any option to see if they're available in-store. It's not showing me what stores I can buy them at as well. And it's also not showing they're probably sold out right now. And it's only July 20th.
And it's only a Best Buy exclusive. I'm sure you can go ahead and just buy the game separate if you want to go ahead and do that route.
The Mario Kart World, sorry, I was drinking something. It's not a Best Buy exclusive. You can buy them at GameStop and everything. I just use Best Buy because I know there's a Best Buy near me. All the GameStops near me closed.
We still got one local GameStop holding strong. I'm not sure about release parties. I do see a lot of people funneling in and out of the store. It's right by the gym, but it's also in kind of a very busy area. Hopefully that's going to stick around for a little bit longer. Side segment there with GameStop. Will bringing those trading cards into their stores, will that be helping or hurting? Is that going to make them feel like more of a pawn shop now at this point? Something to think about. I don't know. I'm going to have to walk into the GameStop and see what I see, and we will definitely see in the numbers. That's for sure. When it comes to numbers not lying, Fortnite projected 2025 revenue of $6 billion, which is still a lot of money, but that's going to be down from the peak of 2023 at 6.2 billion. So they're not far off. It is trending down. Why is it trending down? We have talked about this in the podcast before, in the oversaturation of the seasonal content, the event-driven spikes. It's great, but then as soon as everything goes away, you start to get back to your baseline is stuff of the adaptations of Lego, Rocket League, just to name two of them. Is that going to be enough to keep people coming back in, or are they at the point of already being burnt out?
I'm feeling they're burnt out.
Yeah, oh my God, I believe so. I was one of those people that was burnt out, and I wanted to play a different game, and I was finally able to uninstall it and feel good. And I had to get through the withdrawals. They were not easy at first, but we're on with bigger and better things. I think for the game on Fortnite, it's still a free game, still rolling through that microtransactions. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. But is it going to be around in the next 10 years? I believe that's something that they're going to have to be looking into is, alrighty, what about a Fortnite 2? I don't know. I haven't heard any talks of anything like that, a Fortnite 2 possibly. And thank goodness. I think Fortnite is one of those games that you can just keep on updating and keep the servers going. But you're going to have to do something to keep on pulling your people in because there's not a lot of pull right now. And Fortnite was cool, man. When that game first came out, it had the rival, right? PUBG. Those two games, Battle Royale, is one of the big breakthroughs for, I guess you can say, console gamers. A lot of the PC folks, I'm sure they had other outlets and much bigger games that would meet the criteria that Fortnite and PUBG and just a Battle Royale game is. I hope they're not going to have to start laying off a lot of people like what's going on in the industry right now. I'm sure they're still making really, really good money. They're projecting the $6 billion this year. That does not mean that they're going to hit that $6 billion. So I'm curious on what's going to happen towards the end of this year to find out how much of that player base is sticking around or how much is taking off. And also with the player base, right? They're going to grow up. They are going to find different games, and probably, hopefully, most of them will go outside and not be by a Xbox and have an internet connection where they're going to have to go out in the real world, and they're not going to be able to sit down and play and dump every little bit of time into Fortnite.
Yeah, we expect that to happen, but probably won't.
Even with the peak in 2023 of $6.2 billion, which was still great, I would like to see what the revenue was, but I'm sure they were still growing and possibly losing some money around the COVID time, because obviously Fortnite was one of those games that everybody was playing. And for them to peak in 2023, yeah, I know, not you. I tried for many of years to get you on there, but you've said no every single time, and I get it. I respect it. It's a bad habit, so it's probably a good thing you didn't jump in.
I played it once, and then that was it.
It took them 3 years past COVID to get that peak of $6.2 billion. Are we at the top? Or was that the top and we're going to start to go down? And maybe with the company, we're going to have to find the baseline to figure out what's going on and what direction they're going to want to take. We're going to discuss Fortnite and Epic Games' direction, I'm sure, much later on towards the end of the year. If not, if it pops up in the news, if it comes across our feed, we're going to talk about it. We're going to go ahead and move on, though, because I don't want to keep on talking about Fortnite. Verto's layoff studio has finally hit. So 270 people have been laid off globally, 200 roles in Asia, 70 in Europe. Previously, they have employed over 4,200 staff worldwide. Despite the layoffs, they are still fully committed to the Elder Scrolls 4, Cyberpunk 2077, and the Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater.
That one sounds like a mouthful, Delta Snake Eater.
My God, man, right? That's going to be launching next month. So that game was probably already done, close to being wrapped up, I would have to think, but we're still having to have Elder Scrolls 4, right? That's going to be a really big game, but they're not going to go ahead and come out with that game right away. I think that they have other things backlogged. So they're going to backlog Elder Scrolls 4, get other things done. I'm sure by the time that they get around to that project, they're probably going to pump up the numbers a little bit. Fewer than 10 roles were impacted in the France division, where the core of the Oblivion Remastered team is based. So they were minimally affected by what just happened to the current layoffs. Separation packages and career transition.
Probably the mailroom, Kirk.
Yeah, so just getting into this next part here, there have been redeployment opportunities available across the global network within the company. And then the separation packages and career transition assistance have been offered to those that have been affected. A couple other titles that this company has done that y'all may have heard of: Horizon Zero Dawn, Mortal Kombat 1, Call of Duty, depends on what fucking title you want to talk about, but Hogwarts Legacy is another big one from them. Dead Island 2, this game came out in April of 2023. I guess it was supposed to come out in
2014. You have it written.
Right. Yeah. So getting with that, it came out in April 2023. It was supposed to come out in 2014, but it's a very good reason on why they did not have it come out, because the former executive speaks out, Martin Ween, by saying that basically the game was garbage. In his words, not mine, not fun, not engaging, prompting Deep Silver to pull the plug. It was first revealed in E3 back in 2014, but it did not release until 2023, nearly 8 years later. Quite the delay, I will say, in the game. When it came to the decision, I'm sure it was a very tough decision to go ahead and finally pull the plug or kill the franchise. I'm glad that they pulled the plug and did not release it. But it was a very subpar game from what they were saying. I'm glad that they did not release the original concept, that they took the time and they did the right thing. And I believe that a Dead Island 3 is going to be probably in the works, coming out maybe at some point within the next 5 years. We're going to be hearing something a lot more on one, right?
I mean, why do I feel like I did play Dead Island 2, but you're saying that it came out in 2023? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I have the fucking Mandela effect.
They did have another Dead Island title come out, Escape
Riptide.
Dead Island. Yep, then they also had Riptide. So there were a few different games and spin-offs of the Dead Island name within the franchise. But the big Dead Island 2 release, yeah, I'm glad that they waited to do that one. Donkey Kong possibly is going to be on the big screen. Nintendo did file copyright for an untitled motion picture. What it's going to mean, we have no idea at this moment. Possibly a tie-in with the previous launch of the game that we just had come out, Donkey Kong Bonanza for the Switch 2. The storyline is going to hit that could possibly overlap the video game with the movie. Some people might be looking on into the movie being roped into with Super Mario World that is supposed to be coming out April 3rd in 2026. Do we need to have a Donkey Kong movie?
I mean, but how would they do it is the big question. Because, a lot of people don't really know Donkey Kong's true backstory of everything that that happened. Be cool to see, possibly.
Is this now Nintendo's turn to go ahead and take the spotlight in the theaters? I think they did a very good job when it came to the Mario movie most recently. That came out, that did very well. I thought that the TV show back in the 90s was, totally fine and great for its day. Movie did extremely well. So well that they're probably going to keep that going for a long period of time. Maybe they're starting to see hey, people might want to see these characters on the big screen. Are we going to start to see the start of a universe, a Nintendo universe on the big screen of these mash of Nintendo characters? That's going to be a long, probably decade project. I know it took them a long time to go ahead and put the Marvel Universe together. When they did,
it's going to be called the NCU, the Nintendo Cinematic Universe.
It's got a ring to it, whatever they want to call it. I think that they have a huge catalog to pull from. Fallout Season 2. Let's talk about this thing, Chris. Fallout Season 1 came out last year in April. It did so well that even on the gaming side, it saw a very large growth. Over 1 million players in a single day on Fallout 76 and nearly 5 million across all of the Fallout titles, just from the release of the first season of Fallout. John Rush from Fallout 76, the creative director, confirmed that Bethesda and the TV show are working and coordinating around a seasonal release. No specifics had been revealed, but plans for things here and there are in motion. Fallout 76 at the furthest back in the timeline that's not going to be getting into any kind of a major story, so that's why they're probably going to go ahead and stick with Fallout 76. Plus, Fallout 76 was the most recent release, big release, I should say, there within the franchise. Fallout 5 is a long-term plan, said Bethesda's Todd Howard. He had to reiterate that it is going to be likely after Elder Scrolls. So they're going to get the Elder Scrolls game done first, then probably jump on into Fallout. Probably going to be working on it sooner rather than later. Could be working on it right now, but I think that they have their priorities very well in line. I really hope that we do not see any remakes. I hope that we do not see any remasters. I would just want to see a brand new title come out.
If as of right now there is like a remaster in the works, I would rather see it be the whole New Vegas, because we already know that season 2 is going to take place at least somewhere in New Vegas because of all the behind the scenes images that people were able to capture. I mean, a Fallout New Vegas remastered wouldn't be a bad deal, especially for the consoles. I mean, PC has all the mods where they can at least update like graphics and stuff like that. Console just still has their console stuff.
We do have that to talk about in the featured discussion of remastered versus remakes. I would like to maybe touch on the Fallout New Vegas, on what you want to see remastered or remade in that category. I'm in agreement with you. Yes. Moving on to the TV side of things, Scrubs. Yeah, see, I was never really into it. Sounds like
it.
Apparently were. Yeah, there you go. So I'm sure you're happy about this one if you want to go ahead and take the lead on this one.
So ABC has officially ordered a Scrubs reboot for the 2025 to 2026 season. Now, the question is will we actually fully get it in 2025 or 2026, or should we get it in 26-27, which really wouldn't be too bad. They are skipping the pilot phase, so I forgot what I was going to say. I skipped that part. Returning cast, Zach Braff has announced that he will be back. Donald Faison and Sarah Chalk are also confirmed to return. More original cast members are expected to join. Hopefully they bring back Dr. Cox. I have a gift of him where he hits his head off of one of the countertops, and I use that when a shit day is going on at work, and it's my favorite fucking gift. All three are also executive producers on the new series, which is a running go for a lot of actors who are on TV shows. I've noticed a lot lately. Original creator Bill Lawrence returns as executive producer. Tim Hobart and Asim Bataria, I think I said that name wrong. They will serve as the showrunners. It's going to be produced by 20th Television, with Lawrence working under his Warner Brothers deal. If everybody remembers the original, it followed JD and Turk, the two best friends that anyone could have. So, according to the log line, it is going to be JD and Turk scrubbing together for the first time in a long time. Medicines have changed, interns have changed, but their bromance has stood the test of times. And if I could have a bromance like that, I'd be in heaven. Characters new and old navigate the waters of Sacred Heart with laughter and heart and some surprises along the way. Scrubs originally aired on NBC from 2001 to 2008, and then it went to ABC, and we do not talk about the ABC timeline. Hopefully this show will kind of get rid of the ABC timeline, because that was the worst thing. Yep, and it was the worst fucking season ever. The reboot will follow years of speculation and fan demand. Now, I am excited. Let's hope that Like I said, I'm hoping Dr. Cox does return. He was one of the best characters. And I feel like after episode that was, I believe, in season 3 aired, I know his character development opened up a lot more. So I would love to see for him to come back. The janitor definitely needs to make a return. I'm excited to see where this goes. When I saw that news, I was at work and I was excited. I think I was on break and I kind of fangirled like a little person in the break room when that happened.
But you would be the best person to ask this then. When they edited it in 2008 on NBC, did they leave it on a cliffhanger for it to be picked back up? Was the show, I guess, stretching itself too thin? Did it overstay its welcome? And then when ABC picked it up for only that one season, 2009 to 2010, that they had them, what the hell happened?
So I haven't watched like done a rerun through in at least 2 years. I think the last time I did it was when I took a leave for a little bit from another job. But if I remember correctly, I believe at the end of the NBC seasons, JD did say like kind of a goodbye, and then that was supposed to be it. Like that's what they had planned on because they talked about how during I believe when it originally aired, NBC canceled it during the mid-season, so they redid the season finale to make it the series finale of JD saying goodbye. But then they kind of still shipped it around because they did want to do that other season where they wanted to kind of make it like kind of more where JD and Turk kind of become the doctors that they do teach the interns. But I think only Donald Faison and Sarah Chalk signed on. JD signed to do a couple episodes, and that was really it. Or Zach Braff, and it sucked completely. They tried to kind of make it. It seemed like ABC just wanted to continue the series, but kind of make it with a brand new lead or with others doing the exact same thing that like JD did throughout the whole series, and it didn't feel the same. And that's where a lot of people are like, you know what, like this wasn't great. Like nobody's going to talk about this season, and that's kind of how it is. It's the same with Indiana Jones. No one talks about the fourth one. So it's the same with Scrubs. Nobody talks about this final season, which was called Scrubs Interns, which was stupid.
So they kind of want to maybe forget about that.
I mean, I wouldn't mind, like, there were a couple characters that were in the intern one that I wouldn't mind seeing come back. I don't know how it would really work out. The only thing that stinks is like one of the great characters, like one of the great side characters. The actor passed away many years ago due to cancer. So his character won't be returning, but like others said, like they could probably find like somebody to, kind of portray another character like his in a way, but it won't be the same.
Grand Theft Auto 6 multiplayer gameplay has been leaked. Lobby size expansion has been noticed on GTA Online 2.0. It's going to support 64 player lobbies. Rockstar is going to be aiming up to 96 players in future updates. Holy crap. So for right now, it's only at 32 players, doubling if not more. Those lobbies are going to be insane.
I mean, I feel like that's how big the lobby sizes were. Well, I forget what they were when they first came out, but the lobby sizes weren't that big, and then they doubled it in GTA 5s at 32.
New tech has been reported when they're doing the multiplayer experience. Free roam activities across these sessions without any kind of loading screens. That's pretty cool. Players can interact with different lobbies without leaving their own environment. Insiders have claimed that the multiplayer mode GTA 6 MP, that's what we're going to call it, is far more advanced than GTA 5 Online currently.
So, real quick, 16 players were in the original PS3 and 360 versions. When they ported it over to the PS4 and Xbox One, lobby sizes were increased to 30.
A definite upgrade from what we currently have to what we're going to be hopefully getting. And keep in mind, everything that we're talking about right now, nothing has been officially coming out from Rockstar. I'm not going to call this
It's
speculation.
just speculations and rumors.
Yeah, well, I don't want to call it speculations or rumors if we're able to actually get some actual proof, and it seems like that there is the proof for it. We're just not seeing a finished concept. We're just seeing something that is going to be working. Who knows? They could find out that 64 players is just going to be way too much, and they might dumb it down to 32 and then release it 64 later.
64 players could be held because they do have like big size. A lot like you got to think about it. Like Call of Duty, Fortnite. I mean, their sizes are what, like 100 players when they start the battle royale. So I think it's plausible.
It could be. Let's give it a little bit of time and see what happens. YouTube is finally removing the trending chart feature that has been on there since 2015. Why is it going away? It was once a simple way to surface viral videos, but now it depends on how you do your own research. People just find it less useful. Personally, I don't use it. I don't have to worry about what's trending, what's not trending. Here, Everyday Gaming Society, we're not trying to meet or beat or create our own or new trend. We're going to do with what works for us. And if people like it, great. They can stick around, they can hang out. If people don't like it, that they can fucking leave. It's just that easy, right? So when it comes to the trends, that is going to be going away. Obviously, you guys can go ahead and probably have an AI tool now that can figure out what trends and what's going on right now in the industry. But including trending music videos, the podcast, the movie trailers, the Gaming Explorer page, that is the stuff that is going to be more or less replacing when the trending tab is, boom, gone.
So I remember, and I don't know, I remember when the trending first started in 2015. It would always be updating throughout the day. And I remember one time I was looking, it wasn't playing well on the Facebook app, and I was trying to watch one of the trailers, so I went on YouTube, and it was literally like 2 hours after the trailer had already released, and it was already on the trending page because of how many likes or how many views it had within those 2 hours. But nowadays, I go on the trending page, and it's the same fucking videos that are being shown from like 3 fucking days ago. And it's like, I feel like this thing probably should just have been get rid of sooner. I mean, I feel like it should just be taken out now rather than later. Because it's all those like fucking streamers that, or not streamers, but like YouTubers that are either irrelevant or use their content now to just get fucking views. And they fucking fake people out with the video like, oh, so and so goes to the doctor, could they be pregnant? And it's like, you're literally just using a fucking 20-minute video to say you guys are pregnant. And yet you're just talking around everything else that you do throughout the day.
People will click on those 20-minute videos and then we'll sit down and probably watch, if not listen to, the entirety of it. And yeah, it could be just easily fast forwarded of I'm pregnant. Or you got the clickbaited videos that will lie to you with the thumbnail or the title. It's very misleading. So it could be a waste of time from the very start. I look at it as we have algorithms that pump stuff out that is curated to each individual person. That's it right there, at least for me. Again, I don't need to worry about what's trending. That's nothing I need to concern myself with. I have a feeling that if there is something that's trending, YouTube is probably already going to go ahead and throw that in between one of my 5 videos that they're going to give as my featured videos on, okay, this is my niche thing that I like to watch. Let's go ahead and put, instead of number 2 on his video that he would normally watch, let's put in this funny cat of this cat surfing in the fucking ocean or something stupid, right? You know, whatever it might be, they're going to go ahead and make sure that I see it at some point. And I'm just going to go ahead and scroll on past it because I'm not going to worry about watching it. We have talked about Fallout 5 and it not being worked on. Although we have had talks about Fallout 5 being green lit to be worked on, there's still no confirmed lead developer.
Oh, I mean, Bethesda is the lead developer. It's the secondary developer.
Correct. Yes. And as we've already talked about, they have other stuff that they would like to get worked on before Starfield DLC is a focus for them, and obviously Elder Scrolls before Fallout 5 is going to be touched. Microsoft did go and cancel ZeniMax Online's MMO Project Blackbird. So that is hopefully going to have the resources reallocated to the Fallout 5 team. When it comes to Fallout 5, what do you want to see different from Fallout 5 versus 4?
Oh, I loved 4. 4 was, I played 4 more than I played 3 once I beat it, so I can't really say too much about it, about me hating it. Don't be like, oh, well, it takes place in Boston. Fuck you. Fallout 5, I would love to kind of see. I know it sounds like weird to see, but I would kind of want to see it along the lines of like the pre-sequel to Borderlands, where they kind of played, like where the game played a lot of missions before like Borderlands 2, and some of the missions took place after Borderlands 2. But the reason I say it like that is because I would love for the game to kind of also include flashbacks to when your character like took place, like fighting in like the war or something. If they did that, just kind of like something cool, so we could experience like the pre-Fallout universe instead of after the nuclear war. Like I would love to kind of have something like that, like kind of before Fallout 76 in a manner, well before Fallout 76.
A game that you're definitely going to pick up and play the crap out of, I imagine.
Oh yeah.
The Last of Us Season 3 has been planned for 2027. Is this going to be the series finale? We have asked this question before. We have talked about this. I'm a believer that yes, we need to end this before it gets out of control, before we get further on with the article. Chris, what are your thoughts?
Like I said, I've heard rumors before from the creator of the game that he kind of wants The Last of Us Season 3 to kind of fall in with the ending, like with them saying like that the game's also over. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Although it's going to be the final season, the showrunner Craig Mazin is undecided if it's going to be one long season or two shorter seasons, or I guess one season but chopped up in between two release blocks. Have you played Last of Us Part 2 all the way to the end?
Not for a while.
What's that?
Not for a while. It's been a while since I played Part 2 all the way to the end.
Okay, but you have played it all the way to the end though, right?
Mm-hmm.
If there is not a third game that comes out on how it ended during Part 2, I can see them ending that in Part 3, or Season 3, excuse me. But does that mean that we're going to have that much filler to get up to that point? Or are we going to be seeing a different ending from what we've seen in the game, and we're going to have another game come out that could tie in with Season 3, Last of Us Part 3? Wouldn't that be pretty wild? I thought that they ended Part 2, though.
Like I said, I haven't finished Season 2. Like I said, when everything happened, that I've told you and Leo about, when all that happened, I got bored of watching TV shows. I got bored of watching movies. That I needed a break. I haven't gone back from that break lately yet. Everything that I've been watching is mostly old shows that I've watched like way in the past, that I know what's happening, that I can have on in the background.
Very last thing that we're going to go ahead and talk about here for the topics within the gaming and movie news. Felix, God damn it, how do you want to say that last name?
I already know what you're talking about. Felix Baumgartner.
There you go.
Not Gardner, Gardner.
He was a daredevil, and he ended up passing away July 18th in a paragliding accident over in Italy. Witnesses saw the paraglider spinning out of control before crashing near a swimming pool. He was vacationing in the area at the time. He was known for his world record breaking 2012 jump from the stratosphere, reaching speeds 843.6 miles per hour, becoming the first human to break the sound barrier without a vehicle. He jumped
I remember. I love
24
that.
miles above Earth, landing safely in New Mexico after a 5-year Red Bull project. And yes, with what you were saying when I was still talking, I
I
remember
thought there
it
was a little
too.
pause, so I'm sorry.
Nope, you're fine. I remember it too, and it was a big deal
Hmm.
when it happened. It was a very big deal, and I thought the coolest thing about it is the sight that he was able to see, and it was beautiful up there. I can only imagine how quiet and peaceful it must have been, and probably also him shitting himself at the same time because he just fucking jumped to go back into Earth's orbit. It must have been a wild ride, man. Holy crap. That's going to wrap that up. Big game reveals Dying Light the Beast. August 22nd. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, September 25th. And Mina the Howler, October 31st. Upcoming sequels and major DLCs. Tides of Tomorrow is going to be coming out February 24th, 2026. And we have already mentioned this once before, but coming late this year is Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. Yes, the mouthful. Really sucks that Mike is not going to be around for that one because I know anything to do with Metal Gear Solid. He was really hoping to get something. And actually, they're finally starting to put something out there. It's not going to be a full-fledged major release. I'm sure one of these years that will happen. Onward with the feature discussion. Remake versus remaster. Why is it happening? Nostalgia, obviously, it's going to sell. Chris and I, we're a little bit older. The things that we remember seeing from when we were kids, they do say the history repeats itself, right? And I wear blue jeans, so probably in the next couple of years, I'm going to be back into fashion. Just as fast, I'll be out of fashion, and then I'll wait a couple more years, and I'll be back in fashion. It's going to be almost the same way when it comes to this kind of stuff. I am not a fan of it, but it's also very difficult because I do like, there's very good remakes or remasters. I'm playing one right now, BioShock Remastered. Love it. I love that it's a remastered, not a remake. So they didn't remake the game, they remastered what was already pre-existing. In my mind, that's what a remaster is versus a remake where they could have done, in this example, BioShock, they could have remade the entire thing, including the story too, but still called it BioShock 1, 2, and BioShock Infinite. I'm glad that they did not. I'm very cautious when a company will do that. A great example is Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. That's going to be a full remake. It's going to have 3D audio, stealth upgrades, and the original voice cast, which is awesome. Another remake, Max Payne 1 and 2, Prince of Persia, Star Wars The Old Republic, Freedom Wars, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD, 2D. Those are all going to be the remakes. When it comes to the remaster, best example that just came out, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4. I actually just downloaded Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. Talk about that a little bit later. But that is going to be a remaster versus the remakes that has just been discussed.
See, I would rather see more remasters because it's just upgrading the nostalgia. That's it.
I guess, is that your preference? That you would just rather see that more than the other?
Because like as great as Modern Warfare, like the 2019 was,
Yes.
you could have just come up with a completely different name, like or just done a completely different thing. You didn't have to redo a fucking game that came out 15 years earlier. There was no need for it. You could have gone with your whole like this whole thing. You could have kept characters like Captain Price, Gaz, all of them like from the original one, and just said like, hey, we're just like we're not rebooting it. We're just continuing the series. Like you could have just done that. You could have made it modernly, like not modern, but you could have just made a new game following them instead of like basically reworking the whole thing. You basically remade a game because you ran out of an idea. It's like no, like that game should not exist. The originals were perfect.
I think that game specifically, excuse me, did not deserve a remake. There's other games that should have been remade or remastered even before that one was considered. I think that's a great example of something that happened to be a cash grab. Did it really serve a purpose to remaster and to, or we'll just say re-release it? To spend that much time, that much money and effort to re-release something that was done from just over 10 years ago, put it into a new fan base, player base. If it was 20 or 30 years, I can probably see 20 years because you're going to get a new wave of fans, new wave of players that's going to come in within those 20 years. And maybe they thought they could hit that and capitalize on it within the 10 or 15 year mark. I think that was a very bad game. It was a good game. It was a good game. Don't get me wrong. It was a very bad thing for the company to do. I don't think they should have done it. Some other remakes that we have: Silent Hill 2, House of the Dead 2, and The Thing is going to be a remaster back to the remakes. Tiny Dangerous Dungeons, Presentable Liberty, and Bubble Ghost will all be coming out at some point. When these come out, are they going to be fan driven? How much of the original voice acting is going to be in there? Is it going to be having the original composers of the music? Is it going to be the original music? Is it going to be redone by something completely different? What is the purpose of the companies going and doing this? Wanting to put it out there to see if their older game from an X amount of years ago still hits well? Okay, great. I'm fine with that. If they see that it hits well, does that give them the right to go ahead and redo everything? We're starting to get Assassin's Creed. I know that was something that you talked about that did not make it into our list to talk about. But if we're going to start to see remasters or remake of all the Assassin's Creed titles, well, holy shit, they were releasing those things year after year.
The thing that I think like with a lot of companies, like either doing like the remaster of the game to see how it performs, is to maybe think like, you know what? Maybe we continue the series in a certain way. But that would be great. Like, I would love to see Star Wars: The Old Republic, like if they actually, or Knights of the Old Republic, sorry, if they actually released those games, like did a remaster of those games, for them to continue that series, to give us Knights of the Old Republic 3, or give us another game that takes place during the Old Republic. Like I know we have the MMO, but there's only so much you can do with that MMO before it, you know, burns you out. So give us the remaster, see how other performances will probably perform better than the GTA remasters, and then go from there. Be like, hey, you know, this game performed well as a remaster. Let's maybe come back with more to the series.
Is there anything on your list right now that you would like to have remastered or remade? An old previous game?
Remastered, I would love to see Star Wars: The Old Republic or Knights of the Old Republic. I know that that was mentioned on your list, but that's been like a rumor for quite a few, like for 2 or 3 years now. Another one that I would like to see would be the Killzone series. Like that was a great game when I used
Damn.
to play those.
Yes.
I would love to see that either just get remastered or fuck it, you remake it and restart it if you have to. Like I don't care. Like the game was great. You could definitely get a fan base back with that. But really, there's no other game like that. Well, I mean, maybe Banjo and Kazooie.
I think you got a pretty good shot on seeing that one coming back to light.
Not really. When
Banjo
Nintendo,
Kazooie.
when Xbox killed everybody that was on Rare Replay.
Give it time. Who knows? The developers may go ahead and hire some more people, and then they'll probably fire more people after a decade goes by.
Shit, you know what? Give me a remake of the Titanic game that I used to play back in the 90s. Hold on, I'll get the name for it.
A Titanic game back in the 90s.
Titanic Adventure at a Time. Oh my god, was that a great game to play?
Did you play as just a random bystander? Did you have to interact with
So,
Jack?
yes, no. So basically what it was you played as a character that somehow time traveled back to hours before the Titanic crashed into the iceberg. And basically what you're doing is trying to prevent it from happening. And I never fully got to beat it because I would always play it when I was with my dad. And whenever he moved, he had to like basically shut down, like kill the PC and then bring it with them. So a lot of times, like my data on the game got lost. So I always had to restart. So I never fully got to finish it, but I would love to see that game get remastered. And it was basically just like a click and point, kind of like how I forget what game it was, but it was like kind of just like that. Like it was all like animated or like 3D graphic, like for what they were at the time. But then they also included like real life scenes, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
So
I'm
Command and
trying.
Conquer, there we go. That's what I was thinking. Kind of like almost like that a little bit, where everything was kind of like 3D or like, yeah, like 3D animation for that time. And then they had I forget how to fucking describe it, but you know what I mean.
It's almost like they had a movie scene within a game. And then they
Yes,
dumbed down the scene of the movie with the graphics in the game. So it kind of fit and all looked like it was all shitty too. So it all matched. Yeah, there was a couple good games that I played. I can't remember the name of them for the life of me, but they were interactive shooter games, Wild West themes, and it was a scene that would pop up on the screen. You'd have your mouse and you'd have to click to do certain things. You'd have to shoot certain people, shoot certain bottles, and it was just it's very weird for its time, but that's how games were. They were kind of point and click, and you can make decisions and maybe some ramifications, maybe nothing. You could be getting a really crappy game from the shelf there at Walmart. I remember going there and begging the parents to get me this game and just loading it in and finding out that it would be a pile of garbage that I have no idea how it made it to a Walmart shelf to be sold. But then you also have the games that I would never have thought to pick up there at Walmart to be a good game. Great example, we can do Unreal Tournament 3. I thought it was holy crap. It was a great game. And then never realizing the cult following that was behind it. Didn't really touch a whole lot on it. I was more of a Quake player than a Unreal Tournament player, but still, for its time, those games were, for me, groundbreaking. Moving on to the listener shout out portion of the podcast. This is where everybody out there, if you want to go ahead and write into us, comment on any one of our things that we have out there on social media. We have a lot of videos. We go ahead and we read them. So we got 3 more for this week. We have a ton that we have to get through, but we're just going to do a little bit every single podcast. This one came out from A Woot 1, Assassin's Creed 3 Homestead Peg Leg Trinkets. 12 years later, and this video was invaluable. He was right. That really was a pain in the dick. I could not find where you start the rock climbing part. God damn it, those collectibles. Those guides, I think it's every achievement guide can be really easy, or it can be just goddamn monumental. It can be a hard task, a long task. And those, for the collectibles, those are always very long tasks. I don't know if I'm going to get back to it. I did say that I am going to go through the Doom game and do all the collectibles. Got a couple levels done. I'm kind of finding it discouraging to get through the rest of the way. I am going to do it. There's going to be some definite time spaces between them. Only reason why, one video, not even 5 minutes long, takes about 4 hours to go ahead and do. Don't have a whole lot of time during the course of my day to do that. So I ask myself often, is the juice going to be worth the squeeze? For something like that, for a collectible guide, may not be doing it for upcoming games. What I may be doing is just sticking with the achievements. Those seem to be a little bit easier, and that will probably be a better way for me to get the foot back into that door. But thank you for writing in. Appreciate it. Pinga Bob, any clue on what the different backer effects are? And this is referring to Xeno Crisis hidden cheat menus. So we do have a couple backers, at least 2 known backers. The other ones, There's not a lot that has been known or even typed up online. There could be a reason for that. So we'll discuss two of the main backers. Backer number 5 is widely discussed when it allows you to fight the final boss, even with the cheats being enabled. And then backer number 7 is crucial for when unlocking the good ending while you're using the cheats. Without selecting the backer number 7, the game will end prematurely or block certain achievements from you being able to get them. Other backers, 1 through 4, 6, and 8, and beyond, they offer cosmetic changes, alternative starting conditions, debug variations. Again, they're not as publicly documented. There has been some saying that those backers were brought in kind of to pay ambiance to the Kickstarter people or people within the company themselves that help get the game up and going. So there's not a whole lot that is said with them. If you want to access the backer menu, highlight options on the title screen. When you are on the keyboard, press and hold Q, W, right, and enter, or L2, right, triangle, and start when you're on the controller. Obviously, go ahead and take that on over to the Xbox for that portion of it, and then you can go ahead and put in your cheats from there. Last but not least, Ben 10 Omniverse Forced Destruction Achievement. 1100 Song OKU writes in, thank you. You're welcome. And thank you everybody for writing on in. Recommendations and what we have been playing. I really don't have anything to recommend to people out there unless they want to jump on in to Chris and I's adventure in Borderlands 3, because that is something that Chris and I have been doing for now 2 weekends in a row, and I have enjoyed it.
And we've had some fun.
We've had some fun. We've had highs. We've had lows. We've had to the point of like what happened the last time. Hey, we're at hour 7. All right, we're getting ready to call it. Then somebody jumps in and wants to go ahead and play with us. So then we play for another hour, some odd minutes longer. Not a bad thing. It's great popping in with community members. Mm-hmm. And hopefully we can get some more people that hop in and play throughout the entirety of it. So if you guys out there want to go ahead and jump in, we already said the handles right at the very start of the podcast. Give us a follow. Other games that I've been playing besides Borderlands 3, really not a whole lot. Been dabbling a little bit with Halo Infinite, and I have not fully completed the operation that is out right now. Spare time I've been putting into Stalker 2, and I did pick back up Splitgate 2 just to see if they updated it so I could have a cursor on the screen, and they still have not, so I put the game back down. So I'm going to wait for them to fix their shit, and then we'll get back into it. What have you been playing, Chris?
Ready or Not. That came out for consoles, so I bought it, and I've been playing with a couple of my buddies, and, you know, we always go into a game saying that we're going to be serious, like especially when it's a game that needs us to be serious. It ends up that we're not serious at all. That if we were actually members of SWAT, we would be fucked.
So you guys were not ready to be serious, but you were ready to play.
Yeah. So basically what it is you are members of a SWAT team. I believe it's up to you and 4 friends, so you can have up to 5 people. Whoever is the lobby leader, they are gold team, which they are the leader. And then you have red and blue team, and you have 1 person on red, 1 person on, or 2 people on red, 2 people on blue. And you just basically kind of go through like real life scenarios as members of SWAT. And you have to kind of keep an eye out, make sure that there aren't traps on the other side of some doors that you could go through. You are given the option to kick down a door, but if you forget to check to see if there is a grenade or anything on the other side of that door, then you are fucked. There is no revives, so when you are dead, you are dead.
What kind of situations or scenarios do they have you in? You talking like hostage kind of situations?
Yeah, there's been a couple of those. There was one that we did where we had to go through a college and defuse 2 bombs in under 10 minutes. We actually ended up, so We finished the first one, and we finished that with seconds to spare. And then we ran through it again because we missed a few things. And we ended up running through again, and we got the achievement for disarming the bomb in less than 2 minutes from each other. So we found the first bomb, and then within 2 minutes we found the second one. So that was like kind of cool. But there's just been like all these different scenarios that you like, would run through and whatnot.
Any other games that you've been playing?
I was kind of playing GTA RP again before we started this, and then I've just been playing Borderlands 3 with you. I've been actually periodically playing Madden 25. Basically, I just cheat the game and I put it on rookie and I shut basically everything off and go off on that. But I don't really play Madden too much, so when I just want to fuck around with a character that I created in NCAA, I put it on rookie and have fun.
Yeah, we're going to have to get together and figure out what we want to do for our extra life, the gaming dates. Once we get that squared away, I'm sure at least one sports game is going to make it on the roster. For some
Probably
odd
two.
reason, it always fucking has to have at least one sports game. And that is,
it's always been two lately. It's always been two. It's been Madden and hockey.
well, with whatever that block is when we do the charity extra life, that is typically the block where I have a little bit of fun. And I think my pure intentions are to do nothing but to piss you off. And I'm very good about that, especially in hockey. A lot of slashing, icing calls. I'm never on the right side.
Didn't I beat you like 22-4 one time?
Yeah, I think I did very good, and I want to say it was in hockey where I was giving it a shot, and I did good. I got a goal or something, or maybe even two, and then as soon as you got your first one, I knew it was crumbling in front of me, and I just fell apart, and I just I didn't care. But it's about having fun. We were able to raise a good chunk of money last year, and I hope that this year is going to be nothing different. I was able to get in 22 hours out of the 24 hours last year, so maybe I'll do the full 24 hours this year. We will see on how much caffeine is going to be pumped in through my body. And yeah, maybe I could just
probably won't be able to do the full 24 because it'll be my first year on new stuff, so I can't really do that.
Talk to a local doctor, maybe someone on the internet, see if I can get an IV drip bag of just pure caffeine for this this marathon. We'll see. Details to come.
I could so ruin this podcast right now by saying one thing, but I'm keeping my mouth shut. I'll wait until after.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. I'm the one that has to do the editing. Remember, this week in gaming history. So from starting on the date of July 19th until July 27th, here's a few things that has come out over the years. Depending on what year you were born, probably people out there are not going to be even alive for this game when it launched back in July 19th, 1989, called Willow. It released out in Japan, and this was a role-playing game that was based off of a George Lucas fantasy film. Known for its top-down exploration, password-based saves, and Zelda-like combat. Never played it for its day back in 1989. It sounds like it was one of those groundbreaking games.
All right. I do have one to add because it is kind of early in the list, so I figured I'd add it right now for you. I don't think you got it in podcast 321, but for July 17th, 22 years ago, on July 17th, 2003, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic released on Xbox.
Big game release.
And it was set 4,000. It was basically set 4,000 years before the Star Wars films, and it was, of course, the conflict between the Sith and the Jedi. But at least this was a time when it wasn't the rule of two, where they had more than just the two Sith.
That would definitely be a game if they were to redo it. I would like to get in on that. I just hope that I hope that they do it right. So we're going to go back to this real quick, and this is why I put this kind of crap towards the end of the podcast, because we're going to start to argue and bitch it back and forth at each other. Star Wars Battlefront, the original that they re-released. I want to download it still. Still have to buy it. I want to get it, but you're telling me that it's not worth it. What's going to happen if they do it to this game? If they go and re-release it, remaster it, but they just butcher it to pieces?
I mean, I feel like the reason like why I have issues playing it is because it was just so long in between me playing it and coming back to it that it feels completely different than what I had. Because I played like so many other games in between, like so many flight simulators, so many fighting games that it just feels completely different to me. So that might have been my problem. If I picked it up and played it again and played it for a lot longer than what like I had originally planned, it might be a different story. But for me, it was just like picking it up for the first time in God knows how many years and feeling completely out of place with it.
That was my game back on the PS2. It was an amazing game to play the Battlefront games. And Battlefront 2 was probably right up there with Grand Theft Auto San Andreas for being the most played game. I'd be very curious on how many hours I logged onto that game.
Another one before you continue that you completely forgot about, and it's probably one of the greatest games from the PlayStation 2 era and Xbox, original Xbox era and PC era at that time. Max Payne came out July 23rd, 2001. Listen, I know you hate my cousin, but don't shit on the Max Payne game
What does that have to do with anything with your cousin?
because he played Max Payne in the Max Payne movie.
Yeah, but we're not talking about movies, though.
But I'm talking about the game. Like I said, I know you might hate my cousin, but respect the game.
I'm gonna respect the game. I'm still not gonna respect your cousin. I still have respect for your uncle, cousin, Mark Wahlberg, whatever he is to you and your family. I respect him.
Oh, he is whatever
But
he is to me every time you decide to switch it up and say either my uncle or my cousin.
he's within your family. Everybody's related on that side of the pond. So everybody knows everybody. I'm convinced at this point. I did watch an episode of Ted. This was actually months ago. So thank you for kind of spawning this in my memory. In the first episode of Ted, I kept on thinking that, like, especially at the dinner table, that is how your guys' house is. That's your environment. Everybody's telling each other to fuck off. No one's happy. There's always a crisis or a problem. Everybody just sounds angry. I'm kind of jealous. It looks like it was a really fun upbringing that you had. But going back with good old Marky Mark, the Fun Bunch, right? Yeah, he just needs to stop with certain movies. I respect him as an actor, respect him of stature and everything he's been able to accomplish. When it comes to his chin-ups, yeah, he's got to work on that. He still is very short, so it doesn't matter how much money he makes. I'm still going to be taller than him, so he's probably not going to get along with me. Yeah, I hope all is well with him. So when you see him at the family gathering, tell him that him and Michael Bay need to stop making movies together, and I hope that relationship is finally dead. And I wish him all the best for his supplement company. And yeah, I'll see him in the next B film on Netflix. Moving back with video games, we really digress there. July 19th, 2007, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It was ported to the mobile device in 2007. Back in 1997, it actually released on PlayStation, and it was one of those black label games. I think it was a black label game right from the very start. That's probably worth a fair amount of money in today's standard. July 26th.
I like how you put it. Brought to mobile with full controller support and no microtransactions.
Well, that's something I typed it in there because when I was doing this a couple days ago, I thought that would be something I would need to put into. But I didn't say it because if it did have the microtransactions, I would definitely bring that up. If you're bringing back an old game like that, that should be an automatic thing, right? You should not have microtransactions. You should not be taking more from the consumer. It's an old game. Give them an old game back. Just make it look nice and polished for them. Coliseum Road to Freedom, July 26, 2005, was a gladiator-themed role-playing game. July 26 in 2006, another battle game. This was Battle Stadium DON or Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball, One Piece, or Naruto. Released for the PS2 and the GameCube. Still cherished by many anime game collectors to this day. July 27th, 2011.
Best on.
Best on came out. Helped bring the indie revolution to a front. Last one, and yeah, this will be the last one for the list. July 27th, Crisis Tales released on all the platforms. It's a turn-based JRPG, stunning 2 art and timeline mechanics. Never played it, but that is what we have for video game history. And now with the bonus segment for whatever it is that we want to talk about. We can talk about this one first here. There is an article that I want to discuss that you and I started to talk about last night, and then I said we'll wait and save it for the podcast. Tomb Raider composer has been jailed for COVID-19 loan fraud. This is obviously back in 2019, 2020 time frame, but the first loan was taken at $29,500. The second loan was taken at $50,000 from a different bank, which is going to be violating their 1 loan per business rule.
I said, how dare he?
Yeah, so Peter Connolly, he's known for composing music for Tomb Raider, The Last Revolution, Chronicles, Angel of the Darkness. He has worked on a bunch of crap. Tomb Raider 3. He's also worked on Driver, San Francisco, Watch Dogs, The Crew, South Park, Fractured Butthole, Dead Island 2, just to name a few titles. He's going to be sentenced to 16 months in prison and will also be disqualified from serving as a company director for 6. Lamest terms, don't do that shit. Come on. No, I'm not going to go there. I'm sure he makes more than enough money.
The UK fucking system is being more strict, I guess I could say, on anyone who fucking did this shit, because here in the States, Brett Favre supposedly did it, the original Red Ranger, Austin St. John, supposedly he did it, and they just basically got a slap on the wrist and had to pay the money back.
I wonder why they're trying to make an example out of him then. It's kind of weird how this is just now coming out 5, 6 some odd years later, right?
Right. He was supposed to go to prison, but I guess he's avoiding prison.
So this is an example.
Austin St. John, sorry.
This is an example on how you do the wrong thing and it might take a little while for it to bite you in the ass. There's another example on when you do the wrong thing and it's almost like instant fucking karma. And that is what happened at a Coldplay concert most recently. And this is... I first heard about this on Sports Talk Radio, and the announcer was leading out the conversation about this viral moment that happened that had nothing to do with sports. So I'm thinking to myself, all right, then why the fuck are you talking about it? But it's also 3 a.m, so there's not much to talk about 3 a.m. on Sports Talk Radio to start. And ended up being that, yes, there was a happy couple that wasn't actually a couple at a Coldplay concert, and the lead singer of Coldplay saw it and said something when the camera panned to the couple. It's almost like a kiss cam type of situation. They immediately separated from each other. Lead singer said it's either an affair or they're really shy.
I remember that.
Now the details have been coming out on the aftermath of what's been going on. I'm not going to get into everything for these 2 individuals. I don't even want to go ahead and say their name or where they work. I will say, though, from what I have been reading, what I have been hearing, the major news media outlets have picked this football up and they are running all the way to the end zone with it. And there ain't nobody stopping anytime soon to tackle him and then to stop. It's not getting out of control, but there has been some major changes in those individuals' lives. Anything you wanted to add to that, Chris? Well, it's
So
kind of your fault too, in
she,
a way, right? It's your fault on why they were cheating on each other's spouses because they were in
oh,
Massachusetts.
piss the fuck off.
It's
Um,
Coldplay's fault too.
so she did release a statement, the wife.
Okay.
She said it has come to my attention and apparently to the attention of half the internet that my husband, insert name here, has made certain choices, public ones, under stadium lights during a Coldplay concert, a venue not typically associated with infidelity. Yeah, associated with infidelity, but here we are. Let me be perfectly clear. I am not issuing this statement in defense nor in heartbreak. I am issuing it in power, in precision, in silk gloves, and sharpened wit. I will not be engaging in performative forgiveness, nor am I interested in the optics of grace. What he has done is not just humiliating, it is banal, common, a man of ambition brought down by his own astonishing lack of imagination. I have retained counsel, I have reviewed holdings, I have reallocated what was once ours into what is now very clearly mine. I am not spiraling, I am ascending. And while he may have quoted Coldplay in his statement, I will simply say, when the lights went out, I saw everything clearly. To those who expect tears, I don't cry for Elones. I don't know. I schedule, I document, I rebuild. This is not revenge, it is refinement. And he will feel it in the silence that follows.
Good for her. Well put. I don't know if that had any AI or lawyer involvement, but
That is
god
definitely no
damn.
one like I'm pretty sure she's actually like very like high up in like certain worlds like with companies. So I like
She's
and
well
she
educated.
yeah, she used some words that I don't even know.
Yeah, she used those fancy lawyer words. She
Exactly.
means business. And I also heard that she did change her name on social media and went back to her maiden name.
Hmm.
I did hear that he stepped down from his position as CEO. I
Yep,
have not heard anything on the other side of the house, though. Do we know anything about what happened there?
no. I think it's more everybody's just paying more attention to him rather than her. I do have to say that the way she starts it, like the header she has on it, it goes formal statement from she, wife of he for now. The
Uh,
pettiness.
I got a feeling that she is going to take him to the cleaners. She is going to make an example out of him. And yeah, I don't want to say that he has really done a number for himself and he has screwed himself over, but he has done this to himself.
Oh,
This
most
is all
definitely.
on him. This is all on his actions. Big CEO for the company, hanging out with the head of HR in close proximity. The guy got busted.
Certain schedules were released last week for a certain sport that I like and that you have sometimes gone to an event with me.
We talking hockey?
Yep.
Who are we playing? I know we're gonna be playing each other at some point. That's like one of the first things that we always look at.
Yeah, and we're playing each other on a certain date.
Okay, what's the date?
December 2nd, my
Okay,
birthday.
so our where's it at? Is it down at LCA or is it
It's
over
at
there?
it's at LCA.
It's at LCA. Okay.
Now here's my dilemma. I want to go, but I also want a certain jersey because Detroit Red Wings are in the centennial season, which is their 100th anniversary and everything. And I need to replace my Larkin jersey because there's a hole in the back of my Larkin jersey somehow. And so I definitely want to get the 100th centennial jersey. But mind you, at the same time, it is my team that is playing in your team. So I don't know which jersey I would want to wear.
Let's discuss this off line of where we would like to get the tickets because I think this is going to be an occasion, right?
Yeah,
So I think down closest to the ice would be definitely beneficial. Yeah, yeah, it's going to be a fun time.
I
It's going to be
will. I am trying to convince him, but I would. I might have a visitor with me, and will probably be my little cousin. He has wanting to. He has been wanting to come out to Michigan when like either I have gone out on certain dates or when Tina and I have gone out on certain dates, but he hasn't had like the opportunity. So now he wants to. So I'm kind of trying to convince him to come with me with this one, because it would be like a fun experience. Like he does want to see a game at LCA.
Yeah, if he's never come on out to Michigan, this will be a great opportunity. If he's gonna come back up here during the summer season, then we'll toss him into a car and I will take him out to a couple different amphitheaters, depending on the kind of music, and definitely get that kind of experience. I think that would be a huge benefit for him. But in December, let's find out what other activities are going to be out. I think depending on what goes on during that time frame, if he was to be coming out with you, definitely let's make a reservation to throw some axes there in town.
Mm.
We can hit up the local arcade.
I can tell you this much, because of illnesses, he does not drink, but he would still probably go out with us for. I'll be honest, I haven't had a drink, and I think I'm gonna kind of sit that way. But I know like if we do go out for something, and like yes, there is drinking there. If I do have a drink or so, um, he's not gonna be like super upset about it. But I'm just giving you like that heads up. He does not, so I'm just saying, don't try to force him.
Oh no,
But
it's totally fine.
I know you won't. I already know that you would not do
No,
anything
no, I
like that.
respect it, and it's not something I tip back often myself. And the best thing about the arcade, it's alcohol free. There's no alcohol there, and that's probably a good thing. Willing axes and quarter arcade. I shouldn't call them quarter arcade machines anymore. My God, they're like a fucking dollar to play. Some of them. Anything else?
Yeah, you didn't bring up a certain article that I put in there, and it's kind of how it was the very first thing of how I started the topic for podcast 322.
Oh, it's okay. I can do 99% of the legwork and leave out 1%. And you can pick up the crumbs. So then, what was it?
The Assassin's Creed rant.
Where did you want to start with it?
Well, I don't know if you did see that I did post an article the other day, 3 days ago, that Netflix has greenlit a Assassin's Creed live action series. And if you look at the link, it does come from Ubisoft itself. So it's not like I'm saying like, oh, I found this like on the internet. Like, no, I found it directly from the source itself. It's the live action series is a high octane thriller centered on the secret war between two shadowy fractions. One set on determining mankind's future through control and manipulation, and the other fighting to preserve free will. So of course, it's the Templars and the Assassins. It's been greenlit with Emmy nominees Robert Patino, who's known for DMZ, Westworld, and Sons of Anarchy, and David Weiner, who's known for The Killing, Homecoming, and your favorite series, Halo, which you have yet to finish.
I got through the first 2 episodes. I'm working on the third one. I got a couple years. They're not going
But
to pull it anytime soon.
it does say in 2020, Ubisoft and Netflix announced they entered into an agreement to develop content based on the globally popular Assassin's Creed video game franchise. This live adaptation is the first series to be developed under the agreement. In addition to Weiner and Patino, the shows that are produced by Gerard Guillemot, Margaret Boykin, and Austin Dill for Ubisoft Film and Television, as well as Matt O'Toole. So I guess that guy I forget his name already, that we talked about doing another show, I guess he's not going to be doing this one.
What are your thoughts on this?
I feel like I've said it before in past podcasts, and I will say it again. I would prefer video game adaptations to be done in TV format. Take the Fallout series, everybody's loving it. Take the Last of Us series, everybody's loving it. Halo, a lot of people didn't like because crew was given direction to go on their own accords rather than follow the stuff that was already pre-laid out for them. But I feel that this could be worth it with it being a TV series. I feel it could be at least 5%, maybe 7% better than the Michael Fassbender movie. But I have hopes for it, but not high hope because I don't know. I don't know how they're going to take it. Are they going to make their own storyline? Are they going to do whatever? So I feel like I want to hype it up, but I don't want to hype it up at the same time, if that makes sense.
Well, you got me worried. You got me worried when it came to David Weiner, however you want to say his name. If he's going to be the new co-showrunner for this, I didn't care for Halo.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Is
yeah,
they were given so Halo. Everybody knows the main story for it because of you have the Covenant glassing over planet Reach. So we know a lot of it starts with Reach, and then Master Chief is on Reach, but he's not really a character on Reach. We know Master Chief's full backstory, everything. We know the stories, the characters. We know who's who, who's what, who's this, who's that. But Assassin's Creed is different, and I think this is why David Weiner might actually be good for it, is because they could set the story in a completely different timeline that hasn't been acknowledged yet, which is where it's perfect for them because then they can create their own directive around everything that happened in history in that time frame. So, I mean, we already have pirates being adapted. We already have Vikings that have been adapted. We have the Samurai era. We have Jerusalem. We have all that. So it's like and we have Italy. They could go on and find a completely different time frame with a lot of different events, and they could base it in that, which is what I think is perfect for the Assassin's Creed series, because there's no true set story except everything that takes place in 2012 and after. Everything that takes place beforehand with the Animus and everything is just rewritten history, and that's where it works.
And I think they need to, and this is just me in my opinion, when they do the timeline structure, they need to really worry about the past, present, and future control on what could happen because of something that was rewritten in the past. And jumping back and forth between those storylines, that's going to be hard to do. They did not do it very well in the Assassin's Creed movie with Michael Fassbender.
Because it was rushed. Because they had to fit so much of a time frame type story into a 2.5 hour movie. If they even made a 2.5 hour. It's been a while since I've seen it.
I haven't seen it all the way through, and I've seen it 3 times. So, yeah, let me know how it is when you see it. When it comes to the mechanics and everything on how it's going to play out, visually, the lore, it needs to be there. They need to do their research. They need to make it look like it is the scene from whatever time era that they're wanting to put themselves into.
And I feel they could make that work, which is why it's great that like I said, I'm not hyping it up and I'm not hyping it down. I'm keeping it neutral. But a lot of the things that they can do is going to work a lot better on TV than it would in a movie, in my opinion. Anything that has to do with video games needs to be adapted into a TV series. It should never be a movie because you're cutting so much out of the fucking game and stories by doing it in a movie. It doesn't work. You look at Resident Evil, like some of those were great for the first part, but then they started to fall downhill. Then you look at Assassin's Creed, like we talked about plenty of times. the Street Fighter movies, Dragon Ball Z was an anime. The Monster Hunter movie that came out a couple of years ago, that one bombed at the box office. Anything that is an adaptation of a goddamn video game should stay as a TV show, whether it's animated, live action, or fucking CGI. Don't tell me that CGI and animation is the same. It's two different things. But you get what I'm coming from. It should never be a full-length movie because it's not going to work.
Yeah, you said it. They're cramming a lot into a very short time frame. You're going to leave a lot of stuff out. We're much better off having this into a show, into a series, into something that I'm hoping if they bring in the big characters, and I'm sure they will be bringing in a couple of big names, give them good character development. Don't take the time with it and drag that shit out, because certain parts of the Assassin's Creed games could be very boring. But it's also not just sword fighting and parrying and talking to people. There's a lot of story development that is done with those games that do tie within to each other, and they need to put that out on the big screen. It needs to roll out well, and if they're able to do it and be successful with it, I can see them open it up and really covering a large portion of what they already currently have in the Assassin's Creed franchise on the video game side. But that's if they do it well, just this once. There's a lot of upside here. The first one, though, it's going to have to be good. It's going to set the tone for what the rest of the project is going to be. Let's give it some time. Let's see what's going to happen. We're going to have a lot of time for this to be coming out. This project has been talked about since during COVID 2020. So it's been in development, it's been on, it's been off, it's been having changes. I'm glad that we're hearing news about it, so that means that there is stuff that's being discussed on it. We're just taking that next step. It's a waiting game, and I'm hoping that it's going to pay off for us. Anything else?
No, I think I am good.
Everybody out there, that's going to wrap it up for another podcast. Number 322. Chris, once again, I appreciate you coming on out.
No problem.
I appreciate you playing some Borderlands 3. That was quite the journey last night. I don't know how many hours you and I spent. It was about 6 hours, 5.5, 6 hours, I think.
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah, give or take a few pee breaks in between there. But overall, I mean, goddamn, it was eventful, but it was fun. I'm looking forward to playing it again. Hopefully this upcoming weekend we can get some more content out there. And then everybody out there, please go ahead and join the Discord. Only last thing that I have for the website, front homepage, it is all done. Is it working? No. Don't worry. I want to get a few more things working before I actually release it, just so that way it's not going to be a homepage that's going to take you to different pages on the internet. I at least want to have it for a central spot on the website. Want to have people to have stuff to do. And I also, in my infamous fucking crazy ideas, Wednesday night, this is about 3 a.m. All right, I need to go to bed. There's stuff that I got to do. I got to be up in a couple hours. This one last thing I just want to get done. I got that one last thing done. But then I hit save and published, and it fucking broke the page. It's like, what the hell is going on? Went back into the code. Well, something changed out, but then I also thought, that's pretty cool though. So what ended up happening is something is that I'm going to be now embracing and putting into the website. I'm going to put in Easter eggs on the website. And I'm going to have those little hidden Easter eggs. And for the people that find them, they can go to the Discord. And when you find the Easter egg, I need to figure out how I'm going to confirm this. But you can go ahead and get yourself a little achievement badge there on Discord. So you're going to have a little achievement list for the multiple hidden Easter eggs that I am now going to be putting into the website. And I already have 3 of them on there. So only 3 on the homepage. It's going to get quite crazy. But it's just one thing at a time, right? Those will get added on. I'm not getting carried away on a side project. That is just something
It's a later on idea.
Yeah, it's a website. It's fucking boring. People go there, they might go there for a quick second and go right back off. Not many people go to websites anymore. Maybe it's going to give a little bit of a reason to get website traffic that's going to be there and, hey, try to find this. But at the end goal of it, I have a really difficult one that I'm probably going to put into place. And depending on how this rolls out once it does come out, I'm probably going to put it as, if you find it, you're going to get something for it. Because if you're going to be able to find it, you're going to have nothing better to do. But I also know that there's a way that you can probably just go ahead and break down the code and find out where that hyperlink or where that is and the inner working structures of it. So how strict do I want to be with this, right? This is just a pipe dream. We're putting it into reality. It's going to be a lot of fun, but it's going to take a little bit more time. So please hang in there. Continue to give me patience. Hit us up on all of our social medias. We're there on X, we're there on Facebook, we're there on Twitch. Plenty of opportunities. YouTube is going to be one of our biggest ones. Do a lot of stuff on Facebook with the planning. We have the entire month all planned out, and then we're going to be rolling into with our next podcast. We will talk about our lineup for the month of August.
And I think our next podcast, we're going to be spending a little time on San Diego because that's this coming weekend.
Yes, sir. San Diego Comic-Con, we're going to be spending a good chunk of time to break apart everything that has been discussed at SDCC. And then once again, with our schedule, we will be talking about what is going to be coming out. And then I believe also next month is probably going to be the release of our Borderlands 3 videos that we have been doing. And they're probably going to be coming out on a very fast pace. I'm talking at least one a week, if not two a week, depending on how many that we're able to pump out, because we're going to be eventually hitting Borderlands 4 here very, very shortly. It's going to be here before we know it, right?
Right.
But we'll sit down, we'll figure it out, we'll do a little bit of simple math, and we will get the content out to everybody. But until next time, thank you for listening. Much appreciated. And until we talk again, I am Steve.
And I'm Chris.
Take care of yourself. Happy gaming. We'll talk to you soon.
Peace.